still takes 45 seconds for Pixar and Disney's logos to jerk each other off.
It still takes 3 seconds for CinemaSins to complain about the logos because they don't know how else to open a video. Except that's not true, since you skipped them in the K-pop Demon Hunters video, so why not now? Of all the issues you focus on when you sin to movies, you almost consistently do these, and it's effing annoying.
This is Agent Leland Turbo.
Pixar takes the Doc Hollywood-style story of Cars and makes the sequel a spy movie, like it's fucking James Bond. I'm sure on paper it sounds really shitty, but sometimes you have to make an entire movie to figure that out.
Alright, earliest sin removal ever, because I totally agree. And because I know there are lots of fans for this movie out there, I'm gonna try my best to not remove too many sins.
This is Pixar, so I'm sure these coordinates are accurate for some place in the Pacific Ocean. But who cares the latitude and longitude? I haven't had to care about that since I aced my 5th grade geography class and forgot all about it.
Actually, you should care. You showed the message left behind by Leland Turbo in the previous sin. And that message was being sent to Finn McMissile, and he left behind those longitude and latitude coordinates so Finn could find him, which then kickstarts the film's plot.
This is Agent Leland Turbo. I have a flash transmission for Agent Finn McMissile. Finn, my cover's been compromised. Everything's gone pear-shaped. You won't believe what I found out here. This is bigger than anything we've ever seen, and no one even knows it exists. Finn, I need backup, but don't call the cavalry, it could blow the operation. And be careful, it's not safe out here. Transmitting my grids now. Good luck.
Finn, please respond. Over.
Movie also airs and spending way too many opening minutes on characters we don't know.
I would have agreed if you said don't care, but you said don't know. Didn't we not know who Lightning McQueen was in the last movie's opening scene? Isn't this meant to be Finn's introduction, like the first movie was meant to introduce McQueen?
Headlight-based zoom and enhance cliche.
Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
Come on, guys. These crates aren't gonna unload themselves.
Although we are living in a world where if the crates did unload themselves, we wouldn't bat an eye.
What? Why would the crates be alive in this universe? This world is about talking sentient vehicles like planes, trains, and automobiles. Crates aren't vehicles, so those don't count.
2 tons of bull here, folks. 2 tons of bull.
Yeah, but why?
If every car on this rig was following him up the ramp that just exploded, then how are there any cars up here at the top ready to chase after him?
Did you seriously just assume that literally every single car was on that ramp? I could elaborate, but I feel like that question speaks for itself.
Finn's got all the cool spy gadgets, and that comes with the territory in spy movies. But if he could do this, why did he need to hitch a ride on a boat? He could have gone completely stealth mode underwater all the way up to the rig.
It's possible he only has a limited amount of oxygen, so decided not to risk losing it to come here.
I thought I could make it this time.
How do cars that break down in the middle of the desert call for help? Advantage humans, assholes. Because when our cars break down, we still have legs and sometimes phones.
This movie literally shows cars have built-in phones multiple times, so that's probably how. Even if that wasn't true, Mater could have driven out here after waiting a certain amount of time for Otis to show up, saw that he was late, and then put together that he broke down sometime during the trip. I mean, he even mentions that this is his 10th tow this month.
This is your 10th tow this month, so that means it's on the house.
What kind of ass-face tow company has a rewards policy where your 10th tow in a month is free? Literally no one in the entire US gets towed 10 times a month, except characters written by a screenwriter. Mater is a dick.
Besides the fact that this isn't our reality, Mater seems to be the only tow truck in Radiator Springs, and he's a very kind-hearted character, so if he says it's free, then it's free. The real sin is, what do cars use to pay, and how do they carry it?
He must be crazy excited about winning his 4th Piston Cup.
Expositional towing.
Sending exposition cliche.
Mater is as excited as a puppy to see McQueen, to the point he's about to kill the guy he's towing.
It's almost like Mater is a comic relief, and this was meant as a joke.
Mater, it's so good to see you.
You too, buddy.
Speak for yourselves.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Tireless Mater and Lightning film a recruiting commercial for the Prometheus School of Running Away from Things.
You just said that they're tireless, and you question why they run in a straight line? I doubt they could get very far if they jumped off the tracks without tires.
This car offshoot of cow tipping raises more questions than it answers. Like, why is a sentient vehicle out in the pasture sleeping like an animal?
Because this dump truck is an animal. You even mentioned cow tipping because the tractors in the last movie were clearly a stand-in for cows. Granted, I'm not exactly sure what kind of animal the dump truck is supposed to be, but still. Okay, so I just decided to look it up while I was editing. Turns out it's supposed to be an elephant, which, I never would have guessed that.
Also, what the f*** is a machine this big doing out in this bum tiny-ass town full of nothing?
Isn't this the same sin as the last one? Double dipping.
The Incredimobiles is probably 10 times better than this movie.
I agree, but you're sending Pixar's Easter eggs again, so I will not add a sin nor remove one.
Mater is officially the cable guy level of creepy, showing up to Lightning and Sally's date as a waiter. And yes, I know he's being played by Larry the Cable Guy, but I meant the Jim Carrey character. Pun not intended.
Arbitrary movie reference.
To show the world what his new super fuel can do, he's created a racing competition like no other. And
What? Why not just scientifically demonstrate your fuel's benefits on a YouTube video? You definitely don't need to host a car race.
Because Axelrod wants to demonstrate to the entire world that alternative fuel is bad so they could then go back to buying oil. Like, that's literally the plot of the film.
And how will all these competitors be able to run on your new fuel without having advanced time to test it and see how their engine reacts?
Maybe they did test it off screen. Considering the fuel only explodes when activated by a specific camera, they should be able to run no problem.
You're bringing Mater, right? You never bring him to any of your races.
That's racist.
Yeah, I don't care about that pun. I think it's weird that McQueen hasn't taken Mater to any of his races before, considering they're friends, and Mater was literally at his race at the end of the last movie. That's the real sin.
Let me see if I have this right. Lightning is chilling on vacation at home, but some open-wheel race bitch brags on Lightning, and Mater just happens to be watching, so he calls in to challenge that ragging dude. Lightning comes to see what the fuss is about, sees his friend getting dissed on TV, and then agrees to a road course race challenge out of pure defense of Mater, and no concept of the race itself. And that's how this movie kicks its main plot into gear? I mean,
You almost had it, but then you screwed up towards the end. McQueen isn't racing just to defend Mater. He's also racing to challenge Francesco after they immediately formed the fun rivalry over the phone. And so what if some of this was coincidental? Literally nothing happens without coincidences.
using a Cars song for this montage is a little too on the nose. The Cars rule. The Cars movies do not. Let's not confuse the two for younger generations.
Everything wrong with Cars 2. They didn't play a song that I wanted them to play.
Also, this is a relationship song, or likely a breakup song, wherein the singer says, "All I want is you," to a girl or boy he's in love with. But this is a travel montage, making the song choice even more confusing. Oh, and by the way, the same band has a song called Drive, FYI.
Jeremy, does a background song's lyrics have to match the scene it's being played over? There is no rule in Hollywood that says that's necessary. They simply chose this song because they thought it sounded good for the montage. I mean, when they played The Power of Love and Back to the Future, that didn't match Marty being late for school, did it? Why didn't you send that?
Everyone on this plane is asleep except Lightning and Mater, and they're awake because they're watching Japanese Ninja Warrior for Cars, I guess? This movie is so f***ing offensively terrible, Jesus.
All you did was point out what's happening on the screen. What was even wrong with any of this?
Check out that tow truck. Man, I wonder who that guy's with.
Cars 2 is seriously about to try and wring emotional conflict out of Lightning being embarrassed by Mater's hickness, which not only did the first movie cover, but is also a bit of a cliche storyline anyway.
I don't remember the first movie covering this. Didn't you send that movie?
Sitting on the biggest oil reserve in the world.
How did we miss that?
They've been scrambling everyone's satellites.
Oh!
Okay. Oh, that's it? I was expecting an explanation for the sin here.
American is here tonight to pass it to you.
Why would some important spy be happening here, in the preamble to the big race? Why isn't this exchange happening somewhere that's secluded? Is it so there will be a hilarious mix-up with Mater where he becomes relevant to the story?
Those thugs down there were on the oil platform. If they see me, the whole mission is compromised.
No.
Even further reason why no top-secret exchanges would be happening in public places like this.
Aw, man. I was just about to say you had a good point here, but then you had to double dip.
He's a little excited, isn't he?
P-joke. How Shrek of you, Pixar sequel. Straight from a wasabi misunderstanding joke into a P-joke.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember there being a pee joke in the Shrek movies. And even if there were, those movies didn't invent that.
I refuse to believe Hong Kong's bathroom door symbols for gender are this vague.
Hong Kong is in China, and they are currently in Tokyo, Japan. All Asians look alike. That's racist.
What could he possibly have seen that would lead to this reaction? Everyone is driving around this place naked.
How do you know he saw anything? All we heard were women freaking out that there was a guy in a women's bathroom, which is a reasonable reaction.
Mater is oblivious to this battle because he's been sidetracked by his first bidet experience.
Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
Whatever you do, I would not go in there.
Mater takes a second to pay homage to Ace Ventura.
Arbitrary movie reference.
When she starts giggling, prepare to be squirted.
This is the exact same thing that happened to me the last time I visited a porn set.
A sexual joke over a G-rated Pixar movie? And yet you censor bad words.
Could find somewhere more private.
Yeah, no shit. Cars 2 makes spying look even harder than it already is.
This is the third time you're making this point, my guy. That's 3 more sins.
Why do you have HD video surveillance of basically everywhere but no audio, which would tell you that Mater is not the second agent you have mistaken him for?
I would assume they took these pictures from the security cameras in the party. You know those don't have audio, right? And besides, Finn and Holly spend way too much time in this movie believing that Mater is a spy, so maybe these guys are idiots too.
Also, I saw The Man Who Knew Too Little, and I'm looking down at you for basically doing a car-based rip-off of that movie.
Arbitrary movie.
All in all, making its debut tonight is the required fuel.
Again, and I do think this is worth seeing twice. How do you force cars to race on your new fuel without giving them time beforehand to test it out?
Even more double dipping, and I already addressed this earlier.
How the is there a camera in front of Lightning McQueen that is faster than him in order to record this?
In the last movie, we saw that race cars have cameras on their backs to record cars behind them, so it's very likely McQueen is behind one of those race cars and their camera is recording this.
Get out now!
Well, I usually like to have a proper detailing done before I meet a lady friend.
Somehow, Mater is coaxed into getting out of the pits just because this beautiful lady car begs him to do it. And yeah, the power of car boners is probably strong, but enough to get Mater away from his best friend's race that he's leading and is almost over?
Jeremy says car boners.
Want me to head toward that ruckus?
No, don't go down that street!
Mater, who's been thinking with his car dick this entire time, decides not to follow Shiftwell's instructions in this instance.
Jeremy says car dick.
I lost the race because of you!
We're supposed to believe that Lightning learned his lesson from the first movie so well that he's repeated as Piston Cup champion 4 times, but he's just as dickish in this movie as he was in the last one. He was barely redeemable in the first cars. Now he's maybe worse.
I disagree. Yes, McQueen learned his lesson in the first movie to not be a huge a-hole, but he can still have outbursts from time to time, and I'd say his anger here is somewhat justified. Mater was distracting him while racing. It even caused him to lose the race to Francesco. Even though McQueen really shouldn't have listened to him, people always tend to lash out at other people when they're angry, so I can believe McQueen wouldn't immediately realize that.
I don't need your help! I don't want your help!
Movie rips off the telling off of Encino Man from Encino Man, which basically ripped off the shooting of Old Yeller from Old Yeller, which basically ripped off the Abraham Isaac story from the Bible, which basically...
Even more arbitrary movie references, plus an ancient book reference at the end.
Finn McMissile, British intelligence.
Told Mater, average intelligence.
Mater grossly overstates his intelligence. Also, Mater mistakenly believes British folk, in general, have a high intelligence. Though in his defense, this was a decade or more before the Brexit vote.
So then, your sin is nullified, right? Right?
Hang on!
These pursuing cars grunt instead of, jumping out the window and following these assholes. Like Cap and Winter Soldier on the rooftop. Oh, he jumped. Guess I'm f***ed then. Oh well.
That's not a good comparison. The reason Cap didn't jump off that roof was because Winter Soldier had Super Soldier Serum, meaning he can run insanely fast. Therefore, Cap had no way of finding him.
I didn't really want him to leave.
Yes, you did. End of sin.
No, he didn't. End of sin.
Ain't exactly been much help to anybody recently.
You're helping me. Please, Mater.
This movie is a long-awaited collaboration between Michael Caine and Larry the Cable Guy.
So?
I guess planes are pigeons now. I've sort of lost track of what's supposed to be intelligent life and mere livestock in this movie.
These specific planes are pigeons considering their sizes, while the other ones are big and therefore have intelligent life. And no, I'm not referencing the Planes movies.
The one involved in this plot is one of history's biggest loser cars.
That's car system.
Really? I didn't even care about the previous pun, but at least that one made sense.
A secret meeting in 2 days.
Where's this meeting taking place?
Porto Corsa, Italy.
That's where the next race is.
Then
Gee, I wonder what car absolutely needs to be in the location of every race. And we've seen his dubious backstory, and is trying to sell all in all. Could it be Axelrod?
Congratulations. You just worked out one of the central characters was the bad guy. What, you want a cookie? Well, you can't, because you say this later.
What?
So because of this, you get a bonus feigning ignorance sin.
Thanks, Cheese. Also, you earlier asked why Axelrod decided to demonstrate all in all through a race instead of on YouTube videos, which implies you didn't know that he's the villain behind all of this. So you're being contradictory here.
Green isn't just part of your cover.
friendships can be dangerous in our line of work, Mater.
Michael Caine cuts her off before Mater has a chance to ask what she means by cover.
Narration.
Just happened.
I'm working on it.
You're working on what? The fact that a heavily favored car just wrecked? Can you not actually see through those things?
She's trying to figure out how the car suddenly exploded on the inside. Why do I have to explain this?
The bad guys gas Mater instead of killing him, because they too have a great stake in the toy line Cars and Spires.
I mean, I agree that they should have just killed Mater right here, but the movie does explain why they don't. He's their backup plan for killing McQueen if the camera doesn't work, since they plant a bomb on his air filter.
This is some maniacal right here. Tying a man to a... Wait a second. How the did Cars get up here to even tie him into place? This movie gives me a rage boner, and I'm gonna hard.
Jeremy says boner.
Glamour shot of Big Bentley. Say, why did the Car Society build all the same we have here in our real human society?
Funny, I even said that in a Cars 3 video. Thanks for mentioning that.
Okay, you movie. When Mater awoke from his gas nightmare, these two were this close to being smashed by the next gear change. But now you want the gears to move and end up with them even further away than where they started. This is computer animation, f***ers. You don't actually have to accept continuity errors. You created them and have the power to fix them.
Couple things. One, you say this.
When Mater awoke from his gas nightmare, these two were this close to being smashed by the next gear change.
Which makes it sound like you're referring to this gear right here, but that's not what's going to kill them. They are actually moving closer to this gear. So there's no continuity error here, because they are moving closer to the spot where they will die. And two, just because the animators have control over everything, it doesn't mean mistakes can't still slip in. I mean, just look at your videos.
These motherfuckers move another slot closer and yet still are a full slot away from being crushed. Listen, this movie is terrible in pretty much every way, but the single most terrible aspect is this gear moving without question. Makes me want to kill.
Not that I disagree that this movie is terrible, but this is the worst aspect of this movie? Really?
EMP suddenly doesn't work because God hates all of us. And yes, I know what the movie tells us about McQueen's fuel later that totally explains this, I just don't care.
Well, this might be the most frustrating sin I've seen in forever. Jeremy straight up admits the movie explains this, and he adds a sin anyway because he doesn't care. This frustrates me so much that I'm gonna add a few extra.
The previously tested and working laser ray to f with cars running on all in all doesn't work as expected, so they call in Plan B, which is super sudden and also a f***ing bomb planted in McQueen's pit, which is a way better method of killing him than some kind of laser ray anyway.
Except that's not the backup plan. That's just what they tell Mater so he can escape and drive to the pits because the bomb is on him. The real sin is that they should have just gone with placing the bomb in the pits, because that would have been way easier. Not only does McQueen die, you also can leave Mater to die inside Big Bentley.
Listen to me. The bomb is on you.
They somehow knew that Mater would be able to get out of these ropes by activating his machine guns. Come the f*** on. They so did not. Why not have a bomb in the pit and a bomb on Mater?
Oh, never mind. You made that point too, but I'm still gonna sin you. If you don't care enough to accept explanations, then you get another sin.
Did you know she had twin batarangs in her front tires? Because I definitely did not know that.
Yes, I did, because the movie already showed her using these things twice.
You lost your mind.
Why aren't you in disguise?
Also, Mater, a tow truck, is outrunning Lightning McQueen, who is lightning.
Not for long though, since McQueen eventually catches up to him.
Movie is sadly overestimating my love of Mater and McQueen in this series of close calls.
Speak for yourself.
What do we do?
It's very simple. You'll blow up.
Does lightning blowing up still somehow work for the bad guys at this point? How would no one know what happened?
Don't you mean how would anyone know what happened, since there's no one here to witness this?
Mater Fu.
Mater earlier said he knew karate, which is not kung fu. You're making the same mistake the Karate Kid remake made.
Damn!
What?
Yelling at the screen.
It's official. You're coming to all my races from now on.
Gee, you're such a great guy, McQueen. I can't f***ing wait for Cars 3 now, where you're probably a dick again for some unknown reason.
I remember you claimed that when you sent Cars 3, so I'll just play that sin and my rebuttal to it.
Every mile of this trip was to get me faster than Jackson Storm. I can't get any faster because I'm too busy taking care of my trainer! But you chose all the destinations, bro. From the beach to the country dirt track race. Bitching out Cruz is just more selfish behavior, which has become the norm for you. God, Lightning McQueen may be the biggest dick of a protagonist in the history of film.
He's not blaming Cruz for those things. Cruz is happy that she won a race, and McQueen is frustrated that she seemingly doesn't understand that the upcoming race could potentially be his last one.
Why did it take me so long to realize this movie's Francesco is just a discount Jean Girard from Talladega Nights?
Sinning Francesco Bernoulli, the best character in this movie. Also, he misspelled his name for good measure. Also, there was another arbitrary movie reference. That's worth a few extra.
Those are strong words from a car that is so fragile.
Fragile!
CinemaSins.
Fragile! Not so fast!
Vader.
Not so fast. What is that, your new motto?
Matto! Questo è l'ultimo volta che vado se questo programma ridi!